Anyone been following the news about USAID, Catholic Charities, et cetera, et cetera? In fact, we run a Catholic organization, right? And over the past 4 years or whatever, the number one thing people write in a response, message on Instagram, social media, whatever, email, love your Catholic Church, you guys do some great stuff. But what is up with that Catholic charity stuff? My goodness, like the Southern, Tom Homan is saying that they're the number one NGO which allowed for the illegal migration of this country, invasion of this country. What's happening? And then, I heard that the United States Conference of Catholic Bishops gets half of their budget from the government and is now complaining. Like, what's this about? People want to know. Catholics for Catholics saw this coming, and we have a solution.
This is a video about knowing your rights.
We have stopped all grant funding that's being abused by NGOs to facilitate illegal immigration into this country.
The United States Conference of Catholic Bishops has filed a lawsuit against the Trump administration.
The USCCB, 90% of that budget went to immigration, refugee resettlement stuff.
I like how it works for the Pope. Pope wants us to Catholic Church.
I think the U.S. Conference of Catholic Bishops has frankly not been a good partner in common sense immigration enforcement that the American people voted for. And I hope, again, as a devout Catholic, that they'll do better.
We knew that many of you would be asking, how in the world did our Catholic Church arrive to this moment? Because, to quote the scriptures, in the beginning it was not so, that we were entirely dependent upon the governments via money, which the result of, we became not the spouse of Jesus Christ, but we became the spouse of Mammon, beholden to whatever president was telling us what to do. That's the book of Proverbs, right? The slave is, or the lender is, help me out here. You're a slave to the lender. The borrower is a slave to the lender. And that's a fact. That's what we've seen. That's why we've had in our Catholic Church silence on so many issues. We wrote a book. I didn't write a book. My friend Chris Manion wrote a book called Charity for Sale, which came out, by the way, we had this schedule like a year ago. We were talking about this, coming up with we need to address this issue. We need to explain to people how this Conference of Catholic Bishops became so enraptured. We started the book, and boom, we finish it, and then the news breaks. And you got J.D. Vance going at it with the Holy Father, and everyone's on both sides trying to figure this out. Providential timing. Well, today is the official book launch day. So I want to welcome my friend Chris Manion, author. He served in the Reagan administration. He's taught at Christendom College, spoke at Notre Dame, and he's very well versed. Chris, give us some words.
Thank you, brother. Well, thank you, and I'll be brief, for there's so many people worthy to hear tonight, and I'm honored that you're here, and I'm grateful to John and Catholics for Catholics to get me back in the library and finish this book I've been working on for 15 years. This won't take 15 years tonight, however. No, this is a prayer rally, and there are a lot of things to pray for, so that's a good thing. But there's more. Just this morning, the morning edition of The Guardian insists that the progressive legacy of Pope Francis must be preserved. Now, The Guardian is the Marxist headline in English-speaking countries, the Marxist rag, and they know their Lenin. And 100 years ago, Lenin said, seize their symbols and work from within. Use their language and sneak inside. And what does that tell us? Well, they knew their Lenin. We know the church. We know that it's the mystical body of Christ. But the hierarchy is not the church. And the hierarchy is in a mess. Okay, what are we going to do, the church militant? Let Bishop Sheen tell us from 50 years ago. Who's going to save our church? Not our bishops, not our priests, not our religious. It is up to you, the people. Well, tough 50 years later, the American church has passed then, I'd say, and can we proclaim mission accomplished? No, not by a long shot. Why not? Because Socrates had the answer 2,000 years ago. A good man, he said, cannot reform a rotten organization if he doesn't replace those who ruined it. That's right. And today, Donald Trump can fire bad bureaucrats, and he's firing on all cylinders. But we can't fire bad bishops. Not our job. And that's why we're here tonight to pray. And I'll tell you how to do it best. Father Patrick Payton, who taught the rosary for many, many years, was cured from an illness about mile and a half down the road from the farm I grew up on the St. Joe River. Get that? And Father Payton devoted his life to rosary, classic rosary prayer rallies, like CforC. The family that prays together stays together. Well, now, as Americans, I urge you to admit that the nation that prays together stays together too. Pass it on. Thank you very much.
Here she is. This book you will receive at the end of the night. Make this book a mission, okay? This is a solution. It's a solution to a problem which is strangling the number one voice in this country that we need, the church. Get this, pass it to clergy friends. It's the path forward of what we can be as a church where we're not relying on government funds and we haven't made charity for sale. Powerful read. I encourage you to get it and pass it on.